you move them.
No, they're not real.
Hello.
Come here. What's this?
It's okay. As you can probably hear, we've got some special guests with us today. That was Bramble having a chat. Here she is, isn't she lovely? Bramble. And Bramble's dad is here, and this Dr. Remy. So thank you ever so much for popping in and seeing us today.
It's a pleasure. Come over here. Come on, out of the way.
She's okay. She's okay. Hi. And then, of course, Nettie has popped in as well, which is lovely, because Nettie's known Bramble since she was a little puppy. So Dr. Remy, you may have seen on a previous YouTube video that we did, he's reared Bramble on a raw food diet, and before he even got Bramble, he did extensive research to find out what's best. So this is a year on, really, from the last meeting with Bramble and Dr. Remy. Bramble was quite small then.
Yeah, she was 3 months old.
3. So here she is now, looking beautiful. 14 months old?
14 months, coming up 15 months old.
Great. So, a little bit different with our live this week. As you can see, we've got a bit of, with our friends in, and Nettie in the background. So we're just going to have just a chat, really, about how we've been, how Bramble's been in this past year, and how Remy's found it feeding a raw diet, because luckily, you know, Remy is from a medical background, so he has a certain amount of understanding on what we do need. However, we were just looking really to catch up with you, how you found feeding the diet, the ups and the downs, her favourite things. So
maybe I should just take you through her raw diet journey, really, because, you know, after Bramble was born, I went to see Nettie in the shop in Westmoors, and her mother and all the Labradors there were being fed on a raw diet. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a chat with Nettie about how to proceed. So when we first got her, she was like tiny. She's like 8 weeks old, and she started on very finely minced chicken, and then we added other bits of protein in, chicken heart, a little bit of chicken liver, and then they all come in pre-mixed. And then the other sort of treats that she liked there was the dried puppy treat mix, which is dried beef, and they were very good for training as well for her. She loved that, and I used that as a training tool. The treats when she was small, the puffed pig's noses were very good on her soft baby teeth, and then we progressed to, you know, the yak's milk sticks. That was quite good, and then as we progressed, we started adding more bone into the diet. So with advice, we started off the odd chicken wing, and then we went on quite quickly to chicken carcasses when we knew she could take that. So really, by about sort of 5 to 6 months, we were adding more things into the diet. I was getting some, you know, salmon chunks, some fish, white fish, adding them to it. The other thing I didn't mention was the importance of other vegetables and fruit as well in the diet. So it started off, you can buy the ready frozen squares, which we got. But then, you know, from my background, you work out exactly the foods and the nutritional value of them. Obviously, you need to just check. There are some things that are no for dogs. Garlic and onions are not very good. Grapes and any type of raisins from grapes are poisonous to some dogs, so you've got to avoid those. But I would make up, you know, I'd have broccoli, I'd have sweet potato, I'd have apple, I'd have blueberries, and I'd make it up myself and add it about 20% to the chicken mixes that I used. The other thing from early on I started using was the Dor West Keepers Mix, which you know, is made locally. I talked to the people in the factory down in Poundbury, I think they are. And all the good minerals that they contain. And then as soon as you started getting the Neptune's Yard, the prebiotic seaweed, I started adding that. So every meal since she was small, she would get that. Fish was also important. I think at least 3 times a week she'd either get salmon pieces or some of the chicken mixes with fish already in it. And then the dried sprats were good for her. She loved those as a treat. And then latterly you've been having the frozen sprats, so she always gets 2 or 3 per meal. So I think the thing about raw is that you can be quite lazy and just think I'm only going to give them chicken flesh. However, like our own diets, we look at what else is there, and I think as long as you have a nice balanced diet, it's a very good thing for them. I mean, one of my experiences I like to share with you is I recently changed vet, and the vet was not an enthusiast for raw. She said, "Oh no, we've seen a lot of dogs who get rickets." So that's basically deficiency in the bone structure. So the two things that cause rickets are a lack of vitamin D and calcium. So yes, chicken flesh is low in calcium and vitamin D, but all you have to do is add a bit of chicken liver, or get the pre-mixed chicken and chicken liver. Any other liver is a very good source of vitamin D. Raw eggs are a very good source of vitamin D. The sprats, fish are very good. Fish oils, vitamin D, even mushrooms. And when she was on the carcasses, they contain calcium. And as she got older, we went on to the lamb riblets. Obviously, they're a good source of a different protein, that's lamb, and calcium there. So that's where we are really. She practically will take anything now in a diet. Yeah.
One thing you're lucky having a Labrador.
Oh
One
yes.
thing, yeah. So
She's
not every
fussy.
not every dog is quite as dreamy as that goes when it comes to diets.
Yeah.
And I know you do get other breeds of dogs that are a lot fussier. But in general, Nurturing by Nature do try to provide everybody with what they need to feed a balance. We can't go home with you. We can't go and tell you what to feed every single meal, but we do hope that you take that information away from us. As you know, I hope Dr. Remy, you have done extensive research, not only by talking to Nettie, but you've looked online. There's many sources out there, not just from us. We try to create our website to be quite an educational space as well.
I wanted to come here to share my experience. I mean, I've obviously got time and I can think about things. It does take a little bit of preparation. You can't just open a bag and just chuck the food out and the dog will eat it. But it's not a big deal. We have a freezer, so I sort of know what I'm going to give. She normally will have a carcass in the morning, and then in the afternoon about 4 o'clock, so tea time now, so I won't talk about food. She'll have some mince with something else, either chicken liver, lamb's heart, fish, trout. I know you have, so and she enjoys that, and that's a good balanced diet. Yeah. And you can also tell from what comes out at the other end that they're eating well.
Yes, absolutely. So we don't want our poos to be really crumbly. We want them to be a bit sort of drier, firm, absolutely firm, to help to empty the anal glands. But we don't want really dry, crumbly poos. That's showing that they're getting a bit too much bone.
The confusion has come about by the fact that people leave the poo in the garden and don't pick it up, and it's been in the sunshine. It quite often ends up white and crumbly.
Yep. The part of the last part of the dog's digestion system in their intestines that's one of the sources. That's their purpose. It extracts the moisture from the feces. So you are going to have a dry but firm poo. You don't want it to be crumbling. Don't want it to be too white when it comes out. There is a blog on our website if you're feeling up for it with some various photographs of what to look out for. So I'd like to ask a couple of questions. Obviously you've had the experience recently with the vets. How did that, I know that a lot of people could probably relate to that, how did that make you feel yourself, and how do you think, obviously you have a medical background, which you've got a lot more information than other people, but how do you think that might affect somebody who wasn't feeling quite so confident about the diet? Yeah,
I was upset because I thought I was doing the best I possibly could with Bramble, to giving her a diet as close as nature, and obviously making sure it's balanced, as we said. Clearly I think that vet had seen some dogs with rickets from people who probably just fed a single protein for the whole life and didn't really give a balanced diet, and I was feeling a little bit upset. But and I've got my daughter's friend is a vet up in Liverpool, and then she's not very keen on raw, but I think it's because they see people who don't follow a balanced diet, don't put any fruit and vegetables in it, don't add other proteins, don't add offal into it, and then it's not a particularly balanced diet. So but I think I will persevere with it, because like we eat, I don't know the nutritional value of everything I eat, but we hope we eat a balanced diet
over time.
And the same is with the dog. Unfortunately, we choose what the dog eats.
That's it, isn't it? You're more responsible for the pet because you're actually putting into them and
Yeah.
choosing what they haven't got the voice to go and choose what they want to eat. Okay, well, thank you for that. That's brilliant. There's a couple of questions about just Bramble, really. So Bramble, yes, you. This is you. She's so pretty. She's beautifully calm, which their diet does help with, but yeah, she's beautifully calm, but which the diet does help with. However, that certainly comes down to excellent training from you as well. She's been going to gun dog classes. What have we got? We've got the food. So what has she got? Has she got a favourite meal?
I mean, she loves her carcasses in the morning. You know.
Yeah.
You know, that really gives her a huge amount of satisfaction. I mean, Labrador, any type of food. I mean, one of the things I will say, you know, we talk about the treats. There are, you know, you nurturing to nature have a huge amount of treats. So the rabbit with the fur on the rabbit ears, she loves them. Unfortunately, she'll eat it pretty quickly, and then that has a good beneficial effect for antiparasitic activity in their bowel. So that's a natural antiparasitic. Obviously, she is wormed every month, and you know, I'm quite religious about that, having now got grandchildren, because one of the things about raw that's been criticised is the propensity to allow the animals to have worms. But if you treat them, I shouldn't think there's any problem at all.
No. Okay. So obviously, with the children around, worming is a huge priority. So without the children around, what's your take on the worming side of things?
Well, actually, raw-fed dogs don't support worms like commercially fed dogs, because basically the food is in the gut for a much shorter period of time.
Yeah.
So there isn't the nutrients there for the worms to thrive. And I think if you did a poo count, you know, a poo sample and did the worm count, it's surprising how few worms.
I've never seen any problems with that.
No.
Some people choose to do that then. So some people would, rather than using a commercial wormer, have a fecal count done. So they would send the feces off to like wormcount.com, and then you can get a report back as to what's found in the feces, and then you can treat that respectively. Some people will use a veterinary based wormer and either apply it or give it every month, or some people will use a herbal type remedy, which you've used in the past, haven't you? Like the wormwood, which Phytopet do. So it's horses for courses, really. You have to choose what's right in your situation, and having the children around, obviously, it's very important. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, I don't know if Bramble's up for it, but do you want to she's so good. Do you think we can see your teeth? So one of the things with raw dogs and raw fed animals is that their teeth are beautifully clean. Now, she's a young dog, so they're going to be clean from being young anyway. And around about 6 months old, they swap their teeth out for their adult teeth. And I'm not going to take her close to but you can see how white and shiny her teeth are.
Can you see?
Do you clean her teeth as far as brushing them?
No, I've done it once or twice, but you know, when I feed her, you probably come on.
It's a bit
open
hard.
your mouth.
I don't want to stress her out.
No,
so.
she's fine. She will allow me to do this.
So
you can probably, can you see that?
Probably a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, she is young.
Yeah.
But you know, she eats quite a lot of bones and things.
Yeah.
So that naturally will clean her teeth out. So every morning she'll have a chicken carcass, and I think that's very beneficial for her. And then, you know, other bones she's had, venison bones, marrow bones.
Yeah.
She likes her riblets.
Yeah, riblets are good, and then you can also use nice natural treats as well. So I think we had the yak chews.
Yeah.
They're quite hard, and they're quite a nice thing to have indoors. I wouldn't give too many of them, not necessarily, maybe limit it to about one a week or so. We've got things like tripe sticks. They're knobbly and bobbly and hard, so that helps to clean them, although it doesn't make their breath smell so beautiful because they are tripe, but they're a really nice natural chew. I would definitely avoid anything that's commercially made and branded as dental, personally.
Pizzles were quite good.
Pizzles are great.
When she was younger, I mean, you probably know, if you're having a young dog, they want to chew all the time, especially when they're teething, and you don't want them to chew your furniture. So, you know, she was crate trained, so, you know, she was happy in her crate, so she didn't get out and destroy the furniture. But we found that the pizzle, especially with the Labrador, they spent a lot of time chewing it. Some of the other things she would go through in about 1 or 2 minutes.
So that's
So that's
the
a good
longer
thing, longer lasting one. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. How long do the yak chews last with?
Oh, they last a long time.
They're quite
yeah,
good.
they are very good.
Yeah, 'cause
Even
a lot
small
of
ones.
people are always asking for chews and treats.
No, the yak
that
ones
last
are very
a long
good.
time, and that's
Even
probably,
the small ones, she doesn't swallow them. She'll chew them for days.
So we don't buy the antlers. We don't sell the antlers either, partly because they're a bit too hard. Dogs do seem to enjoy them, but they get bored of them quite easily. The other thing we don't do here is the root chews, because it's wood and it's not digestible, and so that's one of the things you won't find. I think we've passed on some of the products like the hoof chews. They're keratin. They're a hard hair, basically. They're a bundle of hair, so that's digestible. They can deal with that. And some of the buffalo horns as well. Sometimes we get a few of those in, and we're looking at. So we are looking for things for you guys to use that are a longer lasting treat.
Cow ears.
Cow ears, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they last?
They do last quite a lot. Big cow ears, yeah.
Yeah, you can get the big ones, like the buffalo ones with
buffalo ones, yeah.
with
the knobble on the end.
knobble on the end, yeah.
We've got the hairy
The hairy ones.
beef hide as well.
Yeah, which is interesting.
long
What's going on?
Chews.
I think she can see herself on
Probably.
the screen. So the Facebook ones can't quite see her so well, but on the on YouTube and Instagram, she's kind of looking at herself, which is cute. Okay, right. So favourite meal: chicken carcasses.
Probably, yeah.
Probably, and it's okay to feed chicken carcasses on a regular basis as long as you balance it out over time. What have we got else? We have. Is chicken her favourite protein? Do you think, or does
She likes
just something
fish,
she
though.
gets excited
I mean,
about?
anything really. But I mean, the dried meat that we use for training, she gets excited about. So that's probably the best for treat for training.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you find it takes longer for them to eat? Does she take a long?
Well, the bigger lumps, she'll chew.
It takes too long. The little pieces are
The little
nice,
pieces
small
are nice,
rewards. Yeah.
Small rewards. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a bit crumbly, so it's a bit of a faff. But then at the end, all the sort of what I call dust, you just put it on top of their chicken mince as a topper, so they'll get all the benefit from the dried meat.
Okay. And then a couple of other things we said about. We do have a lot of variety online, but some things you won't find online because we just don't have the huge supply of them. So we have some local suppliers, one of them being a goat farm, which we do sell their bones. So we get goat bones and the odd bit of goat offal, but realistically not huge amounts of that, so it's not enough to put online because you'll end up with everybody wanting that in particular. So that's kind of a benefit of being local to us, really, being able to pick up the
and if
goat
you get
bones.
a chance, just pop into the store. I mean, I come here quite a lot to the Upton store and see Paul. I do the order online and I come and pick it up mainly because I don't have a chance to chat to Paul, and then I find stuff in the freezers because it's not huge amounts they can't put in. Like I got some venison offal, so the little cubes of venison offal I would defrost and put it with the chicken mince. And what else? You did go through a phase where you had the beef tripe. Yeah,
we're going to get that back in again. I checked actually with production, and we've got some deliveries booked in at the end of February and the end of March, so they are being scheduled to be chunked up again.
Yeah, but
so
I've also got some chicken with the beef offal already in it, so you get it that way. But lots of things in that freezer that don't get online that are quite interesting to take.
I was going to say, can I ask Remy?
Yeah.
Have you tried with any of the hair with the hair portions?
No, we didn't. I remember coming to see you once, and there was a rabbit in the freezer, and I thought, she was quite small then. I thought maybe that's too much, but maybe I should try. She has had some minced pheasant, and she has had some minced partridge in the past. And small portions added on. I know it's quite rich.
It's we put it in small portions because it's expensive, and it's quite rich, and we have to have a single protein because it's game. So it's easier for you guys to have a smaller portion of it to defrost, basically. But yeah, that's good because again, small variety, isn't it? And they're bone free as well. Generally, I mean, some of it isn't, but some of it is. So the venison, that would be bone free because we're not going to get those big bones through the grinder that we've got. But the things like the pheasant, that's the whole bird. So apart from the feathers and the innards, that's the whole bird in there. So it's a good little portion. So we've had our teeth, lovely. 5 things. I was going to say, what would your recommendations be? 5 things that you think that raw feeders should either know or maybe have in the cupboard? What's been your go-to?
First of all, you need to just make sure they have a balanced diet. So, they need, some form of protein. So chicken, fish is very good. So have the understanding that they also need a few added extras. So I can't speak highly enough of the prebiotic seaweed, Neptune's Yard. And also I use the Dor West Keepers mix as well. So it's very important to be aware of having a completely balanced diet. Treats, we'll always have treats in the cupboard, whatever your dog likes, and when they're smaller and they need a lot of chewing, so there's certainly lots of healthy variety of things that you can pick up to help them chew. As I said to you before, when you go on holiday, we can bring all the frozen things, and as long as it's not too far a journey, and then we'll just leave them in the freezer where we're staying.
Okay,
and it's never a problem. I don't particularly bring the carcasses with me because they're a bit bulky, but you can always go and get chicken wings somewhere, and she loves chicken wings, even chicken necks. I know supermarkets wouldn't have chicken necks.
No, not here. Maybe in France.
But they'll have chicken wings.
Yep, chicken wings are great. Okay, and what about tools and things? I mean, do you have like an enrichment treat or toy that she enjoys?
So because she's a Labrador, she'll eat everything in about 5 seconds flat. So I've got one of these. It's like a liquor mat. Well, it was when she was a puppy, a liquor mat that I got. So you'd put the mince there, and then she'd lick it around it rather than eating it in breakneck speed. But then there's a bigger version that does the same thing with it's like a maze. So you put it in, and they lick round it, and we
like a slow feeder.
Yeah, like a slow feeder. Well, that's very important.
Does she enjoy that, or is she clever
enough
enough to flip it over?
No, she doesn't flip it over. Do you? It's all dinner time. We were talking about food. No, she'll still eat it pretty quickly.
Yes.
But
it's a bit more of a challenge.
A bit more of a challenge, and it slows her feeding down. Come here, come on.
And then
what's the treat? Here. What's that?
Oh.
Sit.
So what's that one?
This one here, I'll show you. So I got this from the shop. So basically, it's Nature's Variety freeze-dried meat bits. This one is 100% lamb. She loves these. There we go.
It's just all it is, isn't it? It's just lamb meat 100%. That's been freeze-dried.
My dog loves those. So I usually get a few and chuck them down the garden. Then there's one dog and 2 cats going out there
trying to find it.
Fudge won't touch them. Nope.
Sit.
Not happening for Fudgy. Okay, so we've got that, and then I did have something else then, but I've forgotten. Oh, she got a favourite toy? You said she, as a retriever, she likes to hold things.
Yeah, she's got one of these toys. We'll call it Bluebird. So it looks like a bird, and inside it there's rope.
Okay, so it's a tougher thing.
Yeah, it's a tougher thing. So it lasts longer. It's lasted since it was a puppy. So
that's good.
And I say, where's Bluebird? She'll go around and try and find Bluebird.
Oh,
and she'll bring me Bluebird. And then that was almost destroyed, and we got Redbird. But I think she recognises them both as the same thing, and you bring it, and she brings it back to me, don't you?
Yeah. There's the smell, I guess, not the colour.
Yeah.
And how was it when we first met you? She was little, and then they eat quite a lot when they're little. Have you noticed a transition in like her size and her weight growing? I mean, when they're tiny, they have up to 10% of their body weight in meat per day. Obviously, as an adult, she's nearly an adult. She's actually young. She's still, she's a young adult. I think technically she's an adult now because she's 14 months old. But the actual volume of food that she's having.
And I think it's a difficult one. How much do you give them? So I think my bottom line is their weight and what they look like, and it's obviously difficult as they're growing. But labs can eat a lot and be quite fat. Because she's a working line, she'll be quite smaller and slender. So as long as she's got a waist and you can just about see the ribs, and then every time I bring her in, someone looks at her like Nettie said, oh yeah, she's about perfect weight. And then obviously when we go to the vet for whatever reason, to get a flea treatment or whatever, we'll get weighed. And so I look at her and see what
Yeah.
she's like. And obviously, it's like if we're doing a marathon every day, we need more food. So if she has a lot of exercise when on holiday, I have to up
You have to
her
up
food.
intake. You
Yeah.
notice it quite quickly.
Absolutely. And if we've got a few slack days when we've been a bit slack taking her out for exercise, then she doesn't need so much.
No, okay, yeah. So what we notice quite often in the shops is that people will come in and say, "Oh, he's gone off it. He doesn't like the food anymore." And one of the first questions I'll ask is age, because quite often when the puppies are around about 6, maybe between 4, 6, and 8 months old, they're going through growth spurts, and then they stop growing for a bit, and then they just don't need the food, so they don't eat as much. So that's one of the things. So don't worry if you've got a puppy, bringing them up and then they go off the food a bit. It's probably not gone off it. It's more of a case of they don't need so much, so they can regulate and don't eat so much generally. So yeah.
I mean, I've been lucky. We with a Labrador will eat anything, but you know,
Yes.
there are some dogs that are a little
Absolutely,
bit more fussy.
yeah. I think some of the other breeds are, especially the poodle type, a bit more fussy. But she's been lovely. Well, I really absolutely 100% appreciate having you with us today.
It's a pleasure coming here.
Thank you so much for bringing Bramble in to see everybody again. She's been amazing. I mean, I'm sure not every 14-month-old dog is this well behaved, but she gets a lot of exercise. She gets a lot of enrichment in her life, and I think she's been trained. So even though she was technically, she should be classed as a lockdown puppy. I don't know now.
Possibly,
A lot of people have said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I've got lockdown dogs, so we have to be with them all the time." You know, so I think you can. It's how you.
Yeah, it's how you
with her,
trade
isn't
them.
it?
I mean, you know, she.
And your choice. You've made a choice.
Yeah. She's
after
happy with her own
leaving work.
company, and
Yeah.
you know, people who want to have a puppy, I can't stress enough that actually crate training has been a revolution in how to you know, bring up a puppy in a household, because it's good for the puppy, because
Yeah.
it's their safe place, you know, and then you can have the crate in your car and they know they're safe there and they're not destroying your house. And obviously, you know, a good diet and giving them plenty of good things to chew stops them chewing the furniture. You know,
So it takes the stress off you. As
and
well,
takes the
doesn't
stress
it?
off you. Yeah.
Yeah, the last thing you want to go is some nice
Yeah.
holiday cottage, and then she
No, she's
destroys a
fine.
sofa,
Touch
which
wood.
she won't do.
She hasn't
So,
destroyed anything.
She's brilliant. Yes, you go through phases. I bet yeah, Butterwood at Melton. She's a beautiful colour, aren't you? You are beautiful. So yes, thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this live, and you'll pick up something from it at some point. We're gonna keep it on YouTube anyway, and you'll be able to refer back to it should you want to. But yeah, thank you ever so much for
That's
coming in
absolute
today.
pleasure.
We will I'm gonna stop that now. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye now.